What's up, guys? It's me, Rich. Did Susan Rice just signal what happens if Democrats regain power? While at the same time, Barack Obama is trying to create a narrative that Trump and his MAGA supporters are doing mean and angry divisive politics, the Democrats are the ones about coming together. And at the same time he's saying that, the former Obama National Security Advisor just openly suggested that punishing corporations for cooperating with Donald Trump is the way to go, and that you're supposed to believe that this is all about unity. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what Susan Rice said, why it matters, and what it reveals about the political mindset behind the scenes with these lefties. And if you stick with me through this video, you'll find out that this is not just about one comment. It's about power, retaliation, and how your country is being reshaped in plain sight. However, the real story is not the outrage. It's the signal being sent. Let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back to RPW Media, where I'm going to give it to you straight. All right. Every once in a while, someone in Washington says the quiet part out loud. And when they do, it tells you more than 1,000 polished speeches ever could. A video is circulating right now showing former Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice making a statement that is revealing. But first, I want to show you her counterpart in this planned attack on American politics and corporations, if you will. Here is Barack Obama on stage in front of an audience, accusing MAGA Republicans of doing exactly what the Democrats do every day of their lives. Guys, this is quite stunning. Give it a watch.
The other side does the mean, angry,
demagoguery,
exclusive, us, them.
Do you hear this?
Divisive politics. That's their home court.
Yeah.
Our court is coming together.
Did you see how long it took for him to say coming together? Because he had to think. He's like, you could see the fireworks going off, the whistles blowing, the wheels turning. Unreal. All right, guys, if you like the videos we're doing here and you haven't done so already, you should become a subscriber to the channel. You can hit the notification bell and smack the like button because it helps us get our message out to more people, and you'll be notified every time we put out a new video. And thank you. All right, so Barack is out there saying orange man bad and the Democrats shit ice cream and rainbows. Now, the Democrats know that Barack is going to get that fluffy, loving coverage from the mainstream media. They're going to reinforce that their version of Ronald Reagan is exactly what America needs right now, and that it's the Democrats who are always on the right side of the 80-20 split when we all know that they're always on the 20% side. I mean, for goodness sake, just look around. So here's Susan Rice, which you know that the media is not going to make a spectacle of what you're about to hear her say. So this is how the Democrats and the media are symbiotes. They don't even need to tell each other what they're going to do. They just automatically know what to do. So give this a watch.
But when it comes to the elites, the corporate interests, the law firms, the universities, the media, I agree with you, Preet. It is not. It's not going to end well for them. For those that decided that it was, that they would act in their perceived very narrow self-interest, which I would underscore is very short-term self-interest.
Do you know that a corporation, that a CEO of a corporation, he has a responsibility to have a narrow self-interest for the people that hold stock in the company? That's what his job is to do everything he can to make the stock go up. And to make the stock go up, what you have to do is you have to hire more people and produce more of your product or service.
And, take a knee to Trump. I think they're now starting to realize, wait a minute, this is not popular. Trump is not popular. What he is doing, whether on the economy and affordability or on immigration now, is not popular.
So it's not popular. I think it was 88% of Americans want ICE to deport every illegal, not just the violent criminal ones, but every single illegal. So it is pretty popular. I mean, guys, what she's saying here is that they're going to go after corporations if the Democrats get power again. That's what she's saying here.
And that there is likely to be a swing in the other direction. And they are going to be caught with more than their pants down they're going to be held accountable by
You hear this?
those who come in opposition to Trump.
In other words, if the Democrats take over Congress again, then you corporations better watch out, because how dare you work with the president to build your business even bigger, to hire more Americans, to give more Americans jobs, and to make the country a better place. How dare you?
And I can tell you, Preet, as I talk to leaders in Washington, leaders in our party, leaders in the states, if these corporations think that the Democrats, when they come back in power, are going to, play by the old rules, and say, oh, never mind, we'll forgive you for all the people you fired, all the policies and principles you violated, all.
Wait a minute. She's saying things like DEI are principles. Really? The DEI principle, it should be called DIE because that's what happens to your company when you do it. The DEI principle was not based on merit. It was based on you had to hire people for the color of their skin. I thought we were beyond that. You had to hire people for their gender and for their sexual orientation. That's what you had to hire them for, not merit.
No, the laws you've skirted. I think they've got another thing coming.
Now, guys, that was Susan Rice. Susan Rice has a lot of power and political influence over the Democratic Party. I mean, maybe they think that this is just normal rhetoric these days in politics, but ask yourself something. Can you imagine if a Republican had said this about companies that worked with Joe Biden? What would the headlines look like? Exactly. Now, here's where it gets serious. Donald Trump was elected twice, actually. Well, he won 3 elections while the jury's still out on the second one, that Obama had a clear hand in that. But in 2016, he shocked Washington in a way the political class never recovered from to this day. And that shock triggered something. Investigations, surveillance controversies, endless lawfare against Trump and his allies. Maybe it was that he was an outsider to politics and he ran for office for the first time in his life and he won. And they just couldn't handle that because he wasn't on their team. Many Americans watched that unfold and came to one conclusion: political power was being weaponized. Americans don't like that. Now we're hearing language that suggests if control shifts back to the Democrats, the cycle intensifies. Retribution, they're talking about. More accountability agendas, more influential pressure, more punishment for wrong affiliations. Really? This is not how a stable republic functions. Here's the big question, guys. What happens when political disagreement turns into political retribution? Now, the left is all over the place right now saying that accountability against the things that the Biden administration and the Obama administration did while they were in power is political retribution. Let's define that, shall we? Political retribution would be what the Democrats did to Trump and his supporters. They threw lawfare cases at them for things that they never did. Now, accountability, on the other hand, is about bringing justice to those who weaponized a Justice Department to create the lawfare cases against innocent people. Now, if you don't know the difference, then you are morally bent and you are politically unsalvageable. Because that's the line voters are worried about. Debate is healthy. Argument, that's American. Elections have consequences. But using state power to retaliate against political cooperation crosses into something darker. So let's get this right. The Democratic leadership is against corporations teaming up with Trump's policies so that they can grow their businesses, hire more American workers, and make American people's lives better. Folks, that is exactly what they're doing. It's the same mental, I can't say the word, as saying that you are against federal agents who are lawfully performing their jobs to rid a community of violent, criminal, illegal aliens who have already gone through the entire due process system and were given a final order of deportation notice. It just makes no sense. And what we've heard here from Susan Rice, who's definitely on board with Barack Obama on this, it's the same kind of nonsense. It makes absolutely no sense. And I think the American people are too polite to just point to that and say, man, this is evil. what she just said. And the irony is thick. The same movement that talks about protecting our democracy is now openly discussing consequences for people who participated in a democratic process. I mean, that contradiction is what people are reacting to, and they don't seem to realize it, these Democrats. It explains why the temperature in politics feels so high. It didn't begin yesterday, guys. It goes back to 2016. Trump's victory did not just change policy. It changed psychology inside Washington. The establishment class realized the system could produce outcomes they did not approve of. And from that moment forward, the fight stopped being just about policy. It became about preventing that outcome from ever happening again. And now here we are, years later. And the language coming from high-profile figures like this, it suggests that the lesson learned was not humility. It was escalation, threats, fear, and intimidation. You had Brock saying that MAGA does everything, that their court is about being angry and mean. What the hell did Susan Rice just say? You don't have to agree with Trump to see the concern. If government power becomes a tool to punish those who associate with political opponents, then every corporation, every institution, every individual is forced to choose sides under threat. That is not a free, dynamic society. That is a pressure campaign dynamic. And voters are hearing it. They recognize tone. And that is why the clip has traction. It's why people are talking about it everywhere, because it feels like a glimpse behind the curtain of what could happen. Remember when we were all sitting around shaking our heads going, what the hell is Biden and his team doing? It's like they're destroying America. They think you want to go back to that. It feels like someone admitting what the strategy actually is on their side, and they don't care who hears it. It's all fear and intimidation. But there is a bright side. Americans are not passive. They pay attention, they remember, and they vote. The more openly politicians talk about retaliation, the more voters will decide whether that's the direction they want. And historically, guys, Americans do not respond well to political intimidation. So here's the bottom line. This is bigger than just one video clip. It's about whether political power is used to serve the country or settle scores. The upside, the American people still hold the ultimate check on all of that. So tell me what you think in the comments below, guys. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.